The morning sun cast golden rays across the polished marble floors of Novatech Industries headquarters. Vincent Ashmore stood before the massive glass wall of his penthouse office, overlooking the bustling city below. At 45 years old, he had everything most people dreamed of: a technology empire valued at $12 billion, properties across 3 continents, an influence that reached the highest levels of power. Yet standing there in his perfectly pressed navy suit, he felt an emptiness he could never quite explain. His phone buzzed with an unknown number. Vincent normally ignored such calls, but something made him answer. "Mr. Ashmore, this is Dr. Margaret Foster from Greenfield Fertility Clinic. We need to discuss an urgent matter regarding your stored genetic material from 2014. Vincent's grip tightened on the phone. He remembered that year clearly. A brief health concern had prompted him to store samples as a precaution before a minor medical procedure. The concern had proven unfounded, and he had forgotten about it entirely. "What kind of urgent matter?" Vincent asked, his voice steady despite the unease creeping through him. Dr. Foster's voice carried the weight of someone, delivering life-altering news. There was a computer error during a system migration 11 years ago. Your sample was mistakenly used for another patient. Mr. Ashmore, you have a biological daughter. She's 10 years old." The world seemed to stop. Vincent sat down slowly, his usual composure cracking. A daughter. Somewhere in the world, a child existed who shared his DNA, who had lived an entire decade without his knowledge. A mother's love and sacrifice across the city in a modest neighborhood. Rachel Bennett hummed softly as she packed her daughter's lunch. At 34, her life looked nothing like she had imagined at 20. She had married young to her college sweetheart, Michael, who had battled cancer bravely, but lost the fight when their daughter Lily was just 6 months old. Rachel had rebuilt their life piece by piece, working as an elementary school teacher and pouring every ounce of love into raising Lily alone. Lily bounced into the kitchen, her dark, curly hair still damp from her morning shower. Those striking green eyes sparkled with the innocent joy only a 10-year-old could possess. She was everything to Rachel. Her reason for waking up each morning, her source of strength, her greatest achievement. "Mom, can we stop by the bookstore after school? Mrs. Patterson assigned us a new reading project." Rachel smiled, kissing her daughter's forehead. "Of course, sweetheart. We'll make it an adventure." But beneath Rachel's cheerful exterior, worry gnawed at her heart. 2 weeks ago, Lily had complained of unusual fatigue and joint pain. The pediatrician ordered genetic testing to rule out certain conditions. When the results came back, they revealed something that shattered Rachel's world. The genetic markers didn't match Michael's family profile. Further investigation led to the devastating truth about the clinic's error. Rachel had cried for 3 days straight. The man she loved, the husband she mourned, was not Lily's biological father. Some stranger's genetic material had been used instead. The clinic confirmed the error and revealed the identity of the biological father, Vincent Ashmore. One of the wealthiest men in the country, the weight of truth Vincent, sat in the private conference room Dr. Foster had arranged. His hands folded tightly on the table. Every instinct told him to handle this through lawyers, to protect himself from potential scandal or financial exploitation. But the photograph Dr. Foster slid across the table stopped those thoughts cold. Lily's school picture showed a beautiful child with an infectious smile. But it was her eyes that struck him, the same unusual shade of green that had run through the Ashmore family for generations. The same eyes that stared back at him from the mirror each morning. Her mother. "Rachel Bennett is a good woman," Dr. Foster explained. "She lost her husband to cancer when Lily was an infant. She's raised this child alone with tremendous love and dedication. She only discovered the truth because of medical testing. She's not seeking money or publicity, Mr. Ashmore. She simply believes you have a right to know, and that Lily deserves to know her biological father." Vincent studied the photograph, unable to look away. He had convinced himself long ago that fatherhood wasn't for him. His own childhood had been sterile and cold, raised by nannies in empty mansions, while his parents chased business deals across the globe. He had learned early that love was conditional and family was just another transaction. Building his empire had become his purpose, his legacy measured in innovation and profit rather than personal connections. But now, holding this photograph, something shifted deep within him. This child existed because of him, carried his DNA, his family's legacy, in her very cells. She had lived 10 years without his protection, his guidance, his presence. The thought created an ache in his chest he had never experienced before. "I want to meet them," Vincent said quietly. "Both of them. Arrange it somewhere private." Dr. Foster nodded with visible relief. "Mrs. Bennett is willing to meet tomorrow. She's terrified, Mr. Ashmore. Terrified that you might try to take Lily from her. Terrified of how this will affect her daughter. Terrified of your wealth and power. Please approach this with sensitivity." After Dr. Foster left, Vincent remained alone with the photograph. He traced the outline of Lily's face with his finger, this child who was simultaneously a stranger and a part of him. His mind raced with questions. Did she laugh like him? Did she share his stubborn determination? What were her dreams, her fears, her favorite things? For the first time in decades, Vincent Ashmore felt truly afraid. Not of business rivals or market crashes or public scandals. He was afraid of failing this child he had never met, of being as inadequate a father as his own had been, of destroying the life Rachel had built for her through his mere presence. But beneath the fear, something else stirred, a fierce, protective instinct he had never known he possessed. This was his daughter, and somehow he would find a way to be part of her life. The small cafe Rachel had chosen was tucked away on a quiet street, far from the usual places Vincent frequented. She had arrived 30 minutes early, her hands trembling as she clutched a cup of tea that had long gone cold. She wore a simple blue dress, her light brown hair pulled back in a neat ponytail. Everything about her spoke of careful preparation, of wanting to make a good impression despite the surreal circumstances. Vincent arrived exactly on time, accompanied only by James Wright, his assistant of 15 years. James had insisted on coming for moral support, knowing his boss was stepping into entirely unfamiliar territory. Vincent had chosen casual clothes, a rare departure from his usual suits, hoping to appear less intimidating. Still, his presence commanded attention the moment he entered. Rachel stood as he approached, her hazel eyes meeting his with a mixture of fear and determination. She was prettier than he expected, with a natural warmth that radiated despite her obvious nervousness. There was strength in the set of her shoulders, the kind that came from surviving hardship and protecting what mattered most. "Mr. Ashmore," she said softly, extending her hand. "Vincent." "Please," he replied, taking her hand gently. Her fingers were cold, trembling slightly. "Thank you for agreeing to meet with me." They sat across from each other, an awkward silence stretching between them. James retreated to a corner table, giving them privacy while remaining close enough if needed. "I don't know how to begin this conversation," Rachel admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. "This entire situation feels impossible." Vincent leaned forward, his expression sincere. "I can only imagine how difficult this has been for you. Dr. Foster told me about your husband. I'm truly sorry for your loss." Rachel's eyes glistened with unshed tears. "Michael was everything to me. He fought so hard to stay with us. When Lily was born, even though he was so sick, he held her with such love. I never doubted she was his daughter. Not for a single moment in 10 years. But the genetic testing revealed the truth," Vincent said gently. Rachel nodded, wiping her eyes. "Lily needed testing because of some health concerns. Joint pain, unusual fatigue. The doctors wanted to rule out certain genetic conditions. When the results came back, nothing matched Michael's family profile. That's when the clinic investigation began, and they discovered the error." Vincent felt anger rise in his chest. Not at Rachel, but at the situation, at the clinic's incompetence that had created this impossible tangle of lives. Is Lily all right? The health concerns? The doctors believe it's juvenile arthritis, manageable with treatment. But going through all this, while discovering the truth about her father, has been devastating for her. Rachel's voice cracked. She's confused, scared. She doesn't understand why the daddy she remembers, the one in all our photos, isn't her real father genetically. She thinks somehow she wasn't really his daughter, that she doesn't belong to our family anymore. That's not true, Vincent said firmly. Biology doesn't erase 10 years of love and memory. Michael raised her, loved her, was her father in every way that matters. I'm not here to replace that or take her from you. Rachel looked at him with surprise, searching his face for deception. Then what do you want? Vincent took a deep breath. Honestly, I'm still figuring that out. I never planned to have children. My childhood was cold and empty, and I convinced myself I was better off focusing on my work. But finding out about Lily has changed something in me. I keep looking at her photograph, wondering about her, wanting to know her. I don't expect to suddenly be her father, but I'd like the chance to know her, to be part of her life in whatever way feels right for everyone involved. A daughter's hope and fear 3 days later. Rachel brought Lily to meet Vincent at his private estate outside the city. The sprawling property with its manicured gardens and impressive architecture could have been intimidating, but Vincent had arranged for them to meet in a cozy sunroom filled with books and comfortable furniture. Deliberately choosing the least formal space available, Lily held Rachel's hand tightly as they entered. She wore jeans and a purple sweater, her dark curls pulled into 2 ponytails. Those green eyes, so like Vincent's own, were wide with curiosity and apprehension. She had been told the truth 3 days ago, and Rachel reported that she had cried, asked countless questions, and then grown quiet. Processing everything in her own way, Vincent stood as they entered, his heart pounding in a way no business negotiation had ever caused. This small person before him was his daughter. The reality of it hit him with overwhelming force. "Hello, Lily," he said softly, kneeling down to her level. "I'm Vincent. It's wonderful to meet you." Lily studied him carefully, tilting her head. "You have my eyes," she said finally. "Mom showed me your picture, but seeing them in person is different." Vincent smiled, feeling unexpected emotion well up. "I was thinking the same thing. It's remarkable, isn't it? Are you really my biological father?" Lily asked with the direct honesty only children possess. "I am," Vincent confirmed gently. "But that happened because of a mistake at a medical clinic, not because your mom or I planned it. Your dad, Michael, loved you very much. Nothing about this changes that." Lily's lower lip trembled. "But he's not my real dad now?" Rachel knelt beside her daughter, wrapping an arm around her shoulders. "Sweetie, he was your real dad in every way. He held you when you cried, taught you to ride your bike, read you bedtime stories every night. Biology is just one small part of what makes a family. Love is what really matters." Vincent felt a lump form in his throat, watching Rachel comfort her daughter. This woman had raised Lily alone, had been both mother and father, had given this child everything, despite having so little. The grace and strength she displayed humbled him. "Ah, brought something for you," Vincent said, reaching for a wrapped package he had set aside. "I heard you like reading." Lily's eyes brightened slightly as she carefully unwrapped the gift. Inside was a first edition of her favorite book series, along with several new releases she hadn't read yet. "How did you know I liked these?" "I asked your mom what you enjoyed, and then I may have bought out the entire collection," Vincent admitted with a sheepish smile. "I'm new at this, so I might go a bit overboard sometimes." For the first time, Lily smiled, a genuine expression that transformed her face. "Thank you. These are really cool." They spent the next 2 hours together, the conversation slowly becoming more natural. Vincent asked about Lily's school, her friends, her favorite subjects. She told him about her love of science, her dream of becoming a marine biologist, and her talent for drawing. Rachel watched the interaction carefully, protective but gradually relaxing as she saw Vincent's genuine interest and respect. When James brought out refreshments, Lily's eyes widened at the elaborate snacks. "Is that a chocolate fountain?" Vincent laughed. "I may have asked the kitchen to prepare some special treats." "Have you ever tried making chocolate-covered strawberries?" "No, but I really want to." What followed was a delightfully messy hour of dipping various fruits in chocolate, with Lily's initial shyness melting away completely. She laughed as Vincent accidentally dripped chocolate on his expensive shirt, and he didn't care at all. Too enchanted by the sound of his daughter's happiness, Rachel stood to the side, watching them together. She saw Vincent's careful attention to Lily's comfort, the way he listened intently to her stories, how he made sure not to overwhelm her. This wasn't the cold billionaire she had feared. This was a man discovering a part of himself he never knew existed. As the afternoon drew to a close, Lily hugged Vincent goodbye, a spontaneous gesture that clearly surprised them both. "Can we do this again?" she asked hopefully. Vincent's voice was thick with emotion. "I would like that very much. Anytime you want." An unexpected connection after. Lily fell asleep in the car on the drive home. Vincent walked Rachel to her vehicle. The evening air was cool, filled with the scent of jasmine from the garden. "Thank you for today," Vincent said. "For giving me this chance? I know how difficult this must be for you." Rachel looked up at him, her expression thoughtful. "You surprised me? I expected someone distant, maybe condescending. But you were wonderful with her. She's remarkable," Vincent said sincerely. "You've done an incredible job raising her, Rachel. She's kind, curious, confident. That's all because of you." Rachel felt tears threatening again, but these were different from the ones she had cried in fear and uncertainty. "I've been so scared. Scared you'd try to take her from me? Scared your wealth and power would overshadow everything I built with her? Scared she'd prefer your world to our simple life?" Vincent shook his head firmly. "I don't want to take her from you. You're her mother in every sense. I just want to be part of her life, to support both of you however I can. And Rachel, there's nothing simple about the love and stability you've given her. That's worth more than any amount of money." They stood in comfortable silence for a moment, something unspoken passing between them. Rachel felt it, a pull she hadn't expected, an attraction that went beyond the circumstances bringing them together. Vincent felt it too, a connection that surprised and unsettled him. "We should probably set up regular visits," Rachel said, breaking the moment. "Maybe once a week to start? I don't want to disrupt her routine too much." "Whatever works best for Lily," Vincent agreed. "And Rachel, if there's anything you need, anything at all for her medical care or education, please let me know." Rachel stiffened slightly. "We're doing fine. I don't need your money." "I know you don't need it," Vincent said carefully. "But she's my daughter too, and I want to contribute to her well-being. Not to replace what you provide, but to add to it. Please, let me do this." Rachel studied his face and saw only sincerity. Slowly, she nodded. "We'll figure it out as we go." As Vincent watched them drive away, he felt something he hadn't experienced in years: hope. Not for a business deal or a successful product launch, but for something infinitely more precious. A family, however unconventional, was beginning to form around him, and standing there in the fading light. Vincent Ashmore realized that his carefully controlled life was about to become beautifully, wonderfully complicated. 3 months passed like pages turning in a beautiful, unexpected story. Vincent's once rigid schedule now included Tuesday afternoon visits with Lily, Saturday morning adventures, and impromptu phone calls where she would excitedly tell him about her day. His penthouse office, once filled only with technology and business reports, now displayed Lily's artwork on the walls and her latest EHS science project on a shelf beside his awards. Rachel watched the transformation with amazement. The distant billionaire she had feared became a devoted father who attended school plays, helped with homework, and learned to braid hair through countless online tutorials. He never missed a visit, never made Lily feel like an obligation. When she had a flare-up of her arthritis, Vincent was there within the hour, bringing her favorite books and staying to read with her till she felt better. But something else was growing alongside the father-daughter bond. Something neither Vincent nor Rachel had anticipated. The weekly handoffs became longer conversations. Vincent started arriving early to visits, sharing coffee with Rachel while Lily finished her homework. Rachel found herself looking forward to these moments, to the way Vincent listened when she talked about her teaching challenges, how he asked thoughtful questions about her life beyond being Lily's mother. One rainy Saturday, Vincent arrived to pick up Lily for their planned museum visit only to find her sick with a fever. Rachel stood at the door looking exhausted, having been up all night with her daughter. "I'm so sorry," Rachel said, pushing her hair back. "I should have called earlier, but I kept hoping she'd feel better." "I know you cleared your schedule for today," Vincent gently moved past her into the house. Where is she? On the couch, but Vincent, you don't have to stay. She's contagious and miserable. He was already heading to the living room, where Lily lay wrapped in blankets, her face flushed with fever. Hey, little scientist, he said softly, sitting beside her. Not feeling so great? Lily shook her head weakly. I ruined our museum day. You didn't ruin anything, Vincent assured her. Sometimes our bodies need rest. How about I stay here, and we can watch those ocean documentaries you love? Would that be okay? Lily's eyes brightened despite her illness. Really? You'll stay? Of course. Vicente looked up at Rachel, who stood in the doorway watching them with an expression he couldn't quite read. If your mom doesn't mind, that is. Rachel felt her heart contract. This man, who probably had a dozen important meetings and could be anywhere in the world, was choosing to spend his Saturday caring for a sick child. I don't mind at all. Let me make some soup. The day unfolded with unexpected intimacy. Vincent held Lily while she dozed fitfully between documentary episodes. Rachel brought soup and medicine, her movements around the house natural and efficient. When Lily finally fell into a deep sleep, Vincent carefully extracted himself and found Rachel in the kitchen, preparing dinner despite looking ready to collapse herself. Sit down, he said gently. You've been taking care of her all night. Let me handle this. You don't need to do that, Rachel protested weakly. Vincent guided her to a chair. Rachel, you're exhausted. Please, let someone take care of you for once. She sat, too tired to argue, and watched as Vincent moved through her modest kitchen with surprising competence. He had learned to cook in college, he explained, before wealth had made such skills unnecessary. Now, he was grateful for the knowledge as he finished preparing the simple meal. Rachel had started. They ate together in comfortable silence. The only sound, the rain against the windows and Lily's soft breathing from the living room. It felt domestic, intimate, like a glimpse into a life neither of them had planned but both were beginning to want. Thank you for today, Rachel said quietly. For staying, for helping. You didn't have to do any of this. Vincent met her eyes across the small kitchen table. Yes, I did. She's my daughter, Rachel. And you've been doing this alone for so long? Let me share the load. Something shifted in that moment. Rachel saw not the billionaire, or the biological father, or the complication that had entered their lives. She saw simply Vincent, a good man trying his best. Someone who had become important to her in ways that went beyond Lily. The heart wants what it wants 2 weeks later. Vincent invited both Rachel and Lily to a charity gala his company was hosting. Rachel had initially declined, uncomfortable with the idea of navigating his wealthy world. But Lily had been so excited about wearing a fancy dress and seeing where Vincent worked that Rachel couldn't refuse. The evening of the gala, Vincent sent a car for them. When Rachel stepped out in a simple but elegant emerald dress that matched her eyes, Vincent forgot to breathe. She had always been beautiful, but tonight she was radiant. Her natural grace outshining every designer gown in the room. You look stunning, he said. Unable to hide his admiration, Rachel blushed, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. It's just a borrowed dress. Your assistant helped me find it. It's not the dress, Vincent said softly, holding her gaze. Lily, resplendent in a purple gown she had helped choose, twirled between them. Can we go inside now? I want to see everything. The gala was unlike anything Rachel had experienced. Crystal chandeliers, orchestra music, tables laden with elaborate food displays. She felt out of place among the wealthy guests in their designer clothes and practiced smiles. But Vincent never left her side, introducing her as Lily's mother with such pride that people naturally treated her with respect. When Lily grew tired, James offered to take her to a quiet room where other children were watching movies. Rachel started to go with her, but Lily insisted she was fine. Already making friends with kids her own age, alone with Vincent for the first time all evening. Rachel felt nervous energy replace her earlier discomfort. He led her to the balcony where they could escape the crowded ballroom. The city sparkled below them, millions of lights creating a sea of possibilities. This is your world, Rachel said, gesturing to the elegant scene behind them. I don't belong here, Vincent. He turned to face her, his expression serious. This isn't my world, Rachel. It's just where I work. My world has changed in the past few months. Now, it includes Tuesday afternoon homework sessions, Saturday morning pancakes, and teaching a 10-year-old about ocean conservation. That's the world I care about. Rachel's breath caught. Vincent, what are we doing here? This started because of a medical mistake, a situation neither of us chose. But somewhere along the way, something changed. I know, Vincent said, stepping closer. I feel it too. Every time I see you, every conversation we share, every moment we spend together with Lily or alone. Rachel, I've spent my entire adult life building walls, keeping people at a distance. But you and Lily have completely dismantled those walls, and I don't want them back. I'm scared, Rachel admitted. I'm a school teacher from a modest neighborhood. You're a billionaire who runs a technology empire. Our lives are so different. What happens when the novelty wears off? What happens to Lily if this doesn't work? Vincent took her hands gently. I'm scared too. I've never felt this way about anyone. But Rachel, this isn't novelty. You're the strongest, most compassionate person I've ever met. You've given Lily a foundation of love that no amount of money could buy. You've shown me what real strength looks like, what genuine love means. And somewhere in these past months, I've fallen in love with you. Tears streamed down Rachel's face. I love you too. I've been fighting it, telling myself it's impossible. I'm just grateful for what you've done for Lily, but it's more than that. So much more. Vincent cupped her face tenderly, wiping away her tears. Then let's stop fighting it. Let's build something together, the three of us. Not because of the circumstances that brought us here, but because we choose it. Because we've found something rare and precious, and we'd be fools to let it go. Rachel nodded, unable to speak past the emotion choking her. Vincent leaned in slowly, giving her every chance to pull away. When their lips finally met, it felt like coming home. Like finding something she hadn't known she was searching for. A family forged by fate 6 months later. Vincent stood in Rachel's backyard, which had become as familiar to him as his own estates. He had spent more time in this modest house than anywhere else, preferring its warmth to the cold elegance of his penthouse. Today was special. They were celebrating Lily's 11th birthday, and both families were present. Vincent's mother, who had flown in from Europe, and Rachel's parents, who had welcomed Vincent with surprising openness. Lily ran through the yard with her friends, her laughter filling the air. Her arthritis was well managed now, with treatment Vincent had helped arrange, though Rachel insisted on contributing what she could. They had found a balance, combining his resources with her fierce independence in ways that worked for them both. She's happy, Rachel said, appearing beside Vincent with 2 glasses of lemonade. Really? Genuinely happy? I didn't think that would be possible when this all started. Vincent wrapped an arm around her waist, pulling her close. We're all happy. Who would have thought that a medical mistake could lead to this? Rachel leaned into him, watching their daughter play. In a few weeks, Vincent was moving into a house he had purchased near their neighborhood. Something large enough for all of them, but not so ostentatious that Lily would feel displaced from the life she knew. They were taking things slowly, building their family in stages, always putting Lily's well-being first. I've been thinking, Vincent said carefully, and before you protest, just hear me out. I'd like to set up a trust fund for Lily's future, for college and beyond. Not to spoil her or replace anything you provide, but to ensure she has opportunities. And Rachel, I want to do the same for your students. A foundation supporting teachers in under-resourced schools. I've made more money than I could spend in 10 lifetimes, and I'd like to use it for something meaningful. Rachel looked up at him, eyes shining. You want to fund education programs? With you running it, if you're interested, you understand what teachers and students need better than anyone. We could make a real difference. Vincent paused, then added quietly, You've taught me that success isn't measured in profit margins or stock prices. It's measured in lives touched, in love given and received. I want to build that kind of legacy now. Before Rachel could respond, Lily ran over, breathless and grinning. Mom, Vincent, come play. We're having a water balloon fight. They exchanged glances, then followed their daughter into the chaos of the party. Vincent, in his expensive, casual clothes, got soaked within minutes, and didn't care at all. He was too busy laughing. Too caught up in the joy of this imperfect, unexpected, absolutely perfect family they had created. As the sun set over the modest backyard, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, Vincent caught Rachel's hand. Lily was showing her grandmother her latest science project, completely at ease with the merger of their two worlds. "I love you," Vincent said simply. "Both of you. This family we've built together." Rachel squeezed his hand. "We love you too. All of us." And in that moment, Vincent Ashmore understood that true wealth had nothing to do with bank accounts or business empires. It was found in the laughter of a daughter he never knew he could have, in the love of a woman who had taught him to open his heart, in the simple beauty of a family forged not by planning but by fate, strengthened by choice, and bound together by love. The billionaire who had everything discovered he had been missing everything that truly mattered. And now, surrounded by the people who had become his whole world, he finally had it all. The end.